Hello, it's time for Combat Patrol Carnage. It's a brand new week, so that means a brand new issue, and today we're going back to all things spiky with issue 40, the Chaos Terminators. So yeah, another issue very similar to last week's, where we have full build, paint, and of course our play guides for these guys. So as I said, we get a build guide inside the issue. So it shows you how to build up the squad as the magazine wants you to field them. You can of course build them however you choose. Paint guide is very standard, of course, shows you how to paint them as Black Legion Terminators. Uses quite a few extra colours that we haven't used in a while. So we're using Avalanche Sunset and Macragge Blue, which adds some details to helmets. And then we've got, of course, our battle record for them, so we can name the champion, give them a bit of a background, learn how to play with them and what they're equipped with. We have a brand new Combat Patrol mission with Forward Outpost, so I can't wait to play that when we get a chance to play a full Combat Patrol game. Probably won't be until we get our paint issue of this delivery, so next issue is the Orc War Boss, so it won't be then. But hopefully after that we can play a full Combat Patrol game. And we'll choose two factions that haven't faced off against each other yet. So we might see the Chaos Space Marine full Combat Patrol in action. And finally we get our scenario, which was kind of spoiled of last week, as it's scenario 26, Chaotic Ambush. So as usual we get ourselves a hefty sprue full of multi-part models. So we get the full Terminator kit, we've got bodies, we've got the opposite leg there, we've got all the different arms, shoulder pads, heads, weapons, trophy racks. It's a really cool and versatile kit. The way the magazine shows you how to build them is just one way. You can build them in quite a few different variety of ways. A little sad we don't have a close combat Terminator squad, although I suppose Chaos Terminators are always considered close combat as they have their power fists or their demonically infused accursed weapons. The only one we do get that's a dedicated close combat guy is the twin cursed weapon with the lightning claws, which are more like lightning fingers. So I'll show you the parts of that on the sprue. Sadly, we don't build them for the Combat Patrol. It's pretty much a dark mirror of the Space Marines Terminator squad. And of course, we get ourselves 5 40mm bases. So yeah, we'll take a close look at the frame in just a sec under the camera, and then we'll build our aspiring champion for the squad. But before we do all that, don't forget to do all the usual. Like this video if you're enjoying the Combat Patrol Carnage content. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of it. And drop me a comment down below if there's something else you want to see. I'm working on the alternative Chaos Space Marine paint guide, which is going to be Iron Warriors, as voted for by you guys. So yeah, we'll be doing a special video for that, and there's also going to be a special video marking the next 20 issues, which I'll be working on as soon as we finish filming this issue. Finally then, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They stock everything you need for your entire hobby journey. Getting started with your first few models or expanding your army, adding that most important paint to finish off that colour scheme you've been working hard on, and even decorating your work and gaming space with some decorative artworks, collector pin badges and the like. So check them out, there's a link for warbay.shop in the video description, and of course they've got their physical store you can always head down to if you're local. Right, let's head to the table, we'll build our aspiring champion and get started on these Chaos Terminators. So here we are with issue 40, and yeah, it's the end of our next two combat patrols. So after this we're going to be doing a special video where we look back at the past 20 issues, everything we've got, everything we've learnt, and of course all that cool new lore and our new two combat patrols. So we'll put our bases off to the side, we'll be using those in just a sec as we build our aspiring champion. So we can take a closer look at the Terminator sprue. So we've got a set of shoulder pads here, we've got the champion's specific shoulder pad, but other than that they are all interchangeable. pairs with furs, there's pairs of chainmail, or if you really feel wild, you can interchange and have one of each. We also have a good variety of helmets. So we've got this rather enlarged tusk one, which would be an ideal for the champion if you want to go bare head, full helmet. Although he does have a specific bare head option there. And yeah, these are all interchangeable between the different torsos. You can use them however you wish. We've got combi weapons for those of you wanting to add either melters, flamers, or plasma to your squad. Although it doesn't really add that anymore. Combi weapons are a really confusing profile. We got the cursed weapons, so the champion's power sword, we've got a chain axe, a power maul, and there's a power axe there as well. We've got the components for the twin lightning claws there, plus the actual arms are there for them with the extra long finger. We've got the Reaper chain cannon, which is how we're building our squad. Also, you have got a heavy flamer. All of these back spikes are kind of interchangeable, although they do tell you to use them in pairs. But on one of my Emperor's Children squads, I've just picked random ones and attached them. They are left and right though, so pay close attention. There's a little nub that guides it into position on the side of the torso. These are optional, you could leave them off if you really so choose. And then of course we've got all of the bolt guns as well, the combi bolters, storm bolters, whatever you like to call them. So yeah, and one chain fist one asked me to say, which we are actually adding to our squad. So we're not building as the front cover dictates, sadly, but we're going to be building as the build guide goes. So let's go into the magazine. So full contents, oops, no, that's not the contents page, that's the contents page. Full contents of the issue then, we've got our build guide of course, our paint guide, our collect articles so we can name them and find out their war gear. And we've got play articles, so a brand new mission, Forward Outpost, and Chaotic Ambush is our scenario for the issue, scenario 26. So we'll go through the build guide, then we'll bring back our magazine and we'll build as aspiring champion here. So, in this build guide, you'll learn how to build your Chaos Terminators. Read the instructions carefully before you begin. So you do need to cut out components, checking the numbers on the sprues to the numbers in the guide. Clean up your components, apply your glue, and then press firmly to make sure you get a solid fit. So our aspiring champion uses parts 30, 29, 31, the accursed weapon 43, so some of the Terminators wield ancient weapons that have been blessed by the Chaos Gods. And he has the Storm Bolter arm 44 with part 45, which I believe all of the left sides are the same number, so it doesn't really matter there. Well, they are individually numbered, despite the fact there's hardly any difference to them. Okay, slight lengthened angle of the cable maybe on the ammo feed. Finishing them off then, we use head 40, shoulder pads 34, 39, back details 35 and 36 there. And that's our champion ready to lead our squad in the battle. So these parts are all interchangeable throughout the squad. So you've got the back racks there, you've got all the shoulder pads, and you've got all the heads. So we build our next Terminator. So this one can have a chain fist, or else the next one in the build guide can have a chain fist if you don't want this guy to have it. Just choose your favourite preferred pose. I think maybe he would look better with that arm there. And the chain fist guy would look better with the lower arm, so he looks like he's going with his chain fist. But yeah, just follow the guide. Use the components however you wish, but you can always follow the guide as that's how it wants you to build them. So we're going to end up with 3 guys of power fists, 3 guys of storm bolters, 1 of a chain fist, and then 1 with the Reaper chain cannon there as well. Or Reaper auto cannon, sorry. So a twin linked auto cannon basically. So yeah, it's basically a dark mirror of the Space Marine squad. Yeah, interesting little choices there. You can pose your model with the arms at different angles before you add glue. Think about how you want them to finish models look. So that's kind of contradicting, because this kit is actually sort of keyed. So each of the arms has this little triangular notch, and that sort of locks the arms into position. There is a way around that though. If you, it's hard to see, but if you cut off the triangular notch on the top of the arm fitting, I'll probably show it better actually when I'm building the model. you can easily change the pose of the armor. So what we'll do, we'll get started on our champion then, shall we? So we'll go back to the beginning of the guide and we'll get our tools in. And I've done it again. I've got up from the table, I've got to put my mic back on. But we're back now. Right, so let's start cutting out the components for our Chaos Terminator. We know all the different numbers we need, so we'll cut everything out at the same time. So we'll kick things off with parts 30 and 29. And they are here on the sprue, this top corner. Right, so we're ready to assemble our Terminator. So what I'll do is show you how these arms actually work. So you notice you've got this triangle piece at the top of the arm socket, and there's a matching triangle there. That will only allow you to put the arm on in one position, sort of out, pointing forwards. What you can do is take your knife, cut down behind that triangle, and then cut it off at the base. Scrape the area flat. And then when we bring in our arm, you can angle it a little better, so it's sort of down at the side. If you want to get a bit more motion, there is a raised ledge which catches on here. Either shave down the ledge or remove that bottom piece, but it's fine. We can get a nice pose on our sword. So yeah, I think we'll end up in a very similar position to how it started. Maybe the sword angled a little more straight. Another thing to note is when it comes to the heads, each head has a little guide nub which you can just about make out on the back there. That will help the heads sit in just one way. But if you want a little bit more freedom and posability on the heads, simply remove this nub and you can get a little bit more of a different angle when it comes to posing your models. There we go. Right, so on to assembly then. I'll take our rear torso, run a bit of glue. Oh, that's great. I've just pushed the entire needle into the entire tub of glue, trying to clean the inside of the tube needle out with my paper clip or twisty tie. So I've got the one off my desk, which I know works. I used it earlier today. So a bit of glue around the outlines here, onto the legs. And where the knees join, where the two halves of the foot join as well. Then we take the front, press the two together. Like so. Getting a nice sealed area. And on this leg here, put a bit of glue on these pipes and onto the hip joint there, and that fits in just there. It should do. Why are you fighting? There we go. Needs to be a little bit more forward. So that gives us our pose. We'll glue that down to the body, to base even, like that. There we go. We'll leave that to dry for a little bit, and then we can start attaching the rest of the arms and decorative icons. While that is drying, we'll put a bit of glue on our Stormbolter combi weapon here and glue the two halves together. So he's ready to pew pew, hack hack. And then we'll test fit this. So the little notch there will go on top of that. And that gives us a rather firing, pointing forward sort of pose. So that's pretty cool. So we'll put a bit of glue just on the arm joint there, and we'll get this fitting into position. And we'll do the same with the sword arm. This time we'll run the glue into the arm, and we can fit it into position here. As I said, I'll angle it down a little bit more so it's sort of flatten out to the side more like that. Leave those to dry and we can start work on the remaining details. So next detail to add, we're going to add the trophy racks. So we'll run just a little bit of glue along each of these. And we got a horn on the front there and a little notch which will guide into that hole just there. We'll do that on both sides, making sure the horn is at the front. And there we go, these trophy racks are looking really nice. So just the final details to do. We got his head and his shoulder pads. So a little bit of glue just on the inside of the head socket there. And we can push this into place. Take two. Take three. There we go. So that goes like that. He should be looking pretty much straightforward along his gun, which is just perfect actually. So that does fit in quite nicely. But I know on my second squad of Emperor's Children Terminators, I've changed the head pose a little bit so it looks like he's looking along the weapon or just picking out a target. And I just realised I ain't cleaned that up quite well. There we go. So this one here with the two teeth goes on the sword arm, just like so. And this one with the last horned skull face goes on the combi bolter side. And there we have our aspiring champion built and ready for battle. So there we go, that's it for this video. We've assembled our aspiring champion and he's ready to lead his fellow traitorous brothers into combat. I'm off to finish building these guys and get them painted up ready so that we can paint this guy on camera in the next video. So there we have it, that's the start of issue 40 done. Let me know if you've enjoyed this video in the comment section down below or just by hitting that like button. All helps out the algorithm and helps this channel grow. So big thank you, of course, to everyone who's supported me, whether it's on Patreon or here on YouTube. I love all your interactions, and I can't wait to continue this journey into Combat Patrol with you guys. So all that's left for me to do then is to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time on more Combat Patrol Carnage. Goodbye.